Hi everybody and welcome to my big backyard. Today is an important day I've been waiting for impatiently. It is time to plant all of my vegetables out into my vegetable garden. So come along and see how it goes. I'll try to tell you every variety that I'm planting. What I have right here is peppers and tomatoes and an eggplant of sorts. But I will put pictures on the screens of each variety I'll put pictures on the screen of every variety I plant when I edit the video. So we're going to start with the tomatoes and then the peppers. I'm just going to set them all out where I want them and then I'll put them in the ground. So let's head over to the garden with the tomatoes. All right, well, you can see my tomato patch here, or what will be my tomato patch. The idea is to plant the tomatoes underneath this trellis so that then I can attach them to the trellis as they grow up. I'm not entirely sure I'll have enough room, and I'm probably going to plant some of them too close together. But hey, that's how it goes. I only have so much space, and each of these varieties I only have one of, so we'll see what happens. But first things first, I'm going to sort them out to where I want them in the garden, and then I'll get planting. Okay, well, I'm already done with that part. I set out all of my tomato plants, and way down there, you can see that I set out all my pepper plants. So the next step is going to be to plant them all. So I'll show you what I got as I plant them. So, put some gloves on. Grab my shovel. All right, so the first tomato I have is called Oregon Spring. This one is an early forming tomato that my mom gave me this plant. So just gonna dig a hole here. I like to make my holes kind of deep because with tomato plants, you can plant them fairly deep all the way up the stem, and they will then root all the way up the stem. So yeah, that was terrible. Just broke all the root ball off. But I'm going to plant this pretty deep, like way down there, as deep as it's reasonable to put it, and backfill all the way up. And this one needs a label because I didn't have a label for this one. So get an old label and a marker. Cross off where this used to say carrots because it's not going to be carrots. Oregon Spring tomato. Done. I'm doing my best to label everything this year so that I remember what I planted and can see how it did. Part of my plan is that I'm going to alternate back and forth across where the trellis is. So this next one is going to be planted on the opposite side of the trellis from the first one. This one is a white Tomasol tomato. This last year was a free plant from Baker Creek. And I was impressed. It did really well for me. I had huge white tomatoes. They tasted good. I ended up cooking a lot of them down into sauce. So let's pop this down in this deep hole here. I'm not sure what this film is going to look like. I'm wearing one of those, the chest strap for the GoPro. So it holds your camera like right on your chest. But I'm not actually sure how good the view really is. It's hard to see what I'm looking at, but hopefully what I get is good footage of planting these vegetables. So save these for next time. This next one, tangled up, is called Cherokee Purple tomato. I've heard good things about this tomato. I've never grown it myself. So this one's a first timer. One of the things I'm going to do first is I'm going to snip off these bottom leaves. Doot, 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 because then I can plant this a lot deeper than I can if I have those on there. So that was a terrible view of some plants. So here's my Cherokee purple tomato. Oh, these gloves are annoying. All right, let's just stitch the gloves. They're too warm. I don't need gloves for this. All right. So the next one is one called Black from Tula tomato. Just take a couple of these bottom leaves off. And this one's going to go over here on this side. Pop that label in there and move on. As I'm going, I'm also trying to remember to pull up the weeds. There are a number of little weeds growing in here. At least I'm going to assume they're weeds. This next tomato is called Black Beauty. I'm going to plant it on this side. I actually think this is probably 2 tomato plants in one can, but you know, it's really not going to hurt anything to throw them both in here. I'll just have more of those, I guess. The soil is plenty good here to maintain them. Pop these bottom leaves off here. This one off and this one off. Okay, just pop these both in here. Okay, Black Beauty. And this one here is called San Marzano, and this is a paste tomato that I'm going to plant. I've never done a paste tomato before, but a lot of the stuff that I actually end up doing with my tomatoes is sauce, because I just can't eat them all. So having a paste tomato might be good for that. So San Marzano paste tomato is going to go over here on this side of the fence, where I'm not even sure that the video is aiming. You lean over so far and the camera does not necessarily show what you want it to show. So pop it out of the can. These have great root systems, all of them. They were up potted from a peat pellet to a pot, and I kept them really well watered. From the bottom, they got bottom watered, so they were able to form really, really good roots. It rained really well a couple of days ago, so that's going to help with this a lot. And this garden bed is on drip irrigation. Right now I set it to come on for about 45 minutes every 2 days. It's not really dry here, so that should do it for that. All right, so I wanted to make sure I got them all spread out well enough, so I did decide to cram 3 of them over here in this garden bed. There's a lot of stuff planted in this garden bed already. There's some lettuce, there's carrots, there's beets, radishes, but I figured there's room for 3 tomatoes. These tomatoes are actually pretty large varieties. Not the tomatoes themselves, but the plants get pretty big. This one might actually be 3 plants. This is Purple Bumblebee. A friend gave me this. It's a variety that came from Baker Creek. All 3 of these are small tomatoes, like cherry style, or a little bit bigger. They're not big slicer tomatoes. So let's put this one here. There doesn't appear to be anything growing right in this exact spot, so right next to the carrots is a good spot. This is actually 3 plants, I think. Well, I don't like getting rid of stuff, and I don't have a lot of places to plant it, so all 3 are gonna go right here in this hole, and we'll see what happens. They're not gonna die. They'll grow. Even if what I get is 3 not as big plants, the total will be as much as 1 plant, so no big deal. Let's pack the soil in around them really good so that they can set up terrific root systems. So that's Purple Bumblebee, which I've never tried before. This next one is a favorite of mine. It grows really well for me, and I got tons of tomatoes off of them last year. Last year I had 4 of these, but that was a bit insane. The last thing I need is 4 of the same tomato plant because I'm only one person. But this is a Sun Sugar cherry tomato. They're a bright orange cherry tomato and they taste delicious. So I'm gonna dig a hole for that right here. The cherry tomatoes are really great. I like to slice them in half and put them on pizza, homemade pizza. They're delicious. So that's my Sun Sugar cherry. All right, everybody, welcome to the garden bed where I will be planting my peppers. Obviously, the cat likes it here, and the cat's going to have to get over that because I'm going to plant plants here, and the cat's going to have to get out. But before I plant my peppers, I also have this eggplant variety right here that I'm going to plant. And the eggplant I'm going to put right here in the middle. I can't remember whether this is completely a bush or if it'll vine. It's called Turkish orange eggplant. A friend of mine gave me the seeds for this. So I'm going to pop it right in here between these onions. And it shouldn't hurt the onions too bad. And there should be plenty of room for it to grow here. So we'll see what happens. I don't think that you're supposed to plant eggplant like extra deep or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just plant this at a normal depth. Backfill it just like it was in the can. These that I'm putting out here today, every single thing that I'm putting out here right now is something that I started from seed. I started them all in little peat pellets, as you may have seen in a previous video. And then I transplanted them into these 4-inch pots. I think this is a second plant. Yeah, it is a second plant. I'm going to pop this one right here. We'll see what happens to that. It doesn't have anywhere near the root system of the first one. If it lives, it lives. So I'm going to put this label here, Turkish orange eggplant, and I'll remember that it's there. So my first pepper variety, I wanted this year to maybe make my own paprika. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but I have this pepper. It's called an Alma paprika pepper. I'm going to pop this one in here just behind the onions. I believe with peppers you can go a little deep. I don't know if you can go as deep as you go when you plant tomatoes. We'll see. Get a couple sticks out of here. But I'm going to plant these just a teeny bit on the deep side to help support them and get them strong. Alma Paprika. The next one I have here is called a Lunchbox Paprika Pepper. At least that's how I'm pronouncing it. Once again, I'll put images on the screen that show you guys what they are, so that should help. So let me put this one here. I've got onions planted all the way around this entire bed already. So I'm trying to work around my onions. Maybe putting these a little bit too close together, but I think they'll do okay. This next one is another Lunchbox. I didn't really plan on having two. I thought I had given the extras away, but since I have it, I may as well go for it. Huh? So I'll put the second Lunchbox here. Besides, if I can't use the peppers, I can always sell the peppers or give them away. Somebody always wants your extra vegetables, but this plant for some reason looks really strong. So I'm going to, I'm not getting rid of it, I'll just keep it. I'm going to get another one of these old labels and label that so I don't forget what it is. Lunchbox Paprika. Alright. The next thing I have to plant is Cayenne Long. It's another one that I accidentally have two of, so I'm just going to plant two of. Alright, so tuck this in the corner over here. Both of them can go side by side, and then I'll know which one's which. I know that that's what they are. What are these things? Does anybody know what these particular grubs are? Oh well. Bye. There's a ton of these in my soil. Either that or when I attempted to throw it away the first time, it stuck to my shovel. Okay. Here's my cayenne peppers. And we'll move on to this one in the middle of the bed over here. This one is an Ancho Grande Poblano pepper. So I'll just pop that right in the middle of the garden. I don't want to move around to this side. Can't reach all the way across. Oops, I didn't put this label in. Okay. This one I'm going to plant down here is one of my favorites to just eat. This is a Shishito Pepper. These are great if you just fry the whole pepper up and just fry them up with a little olive oil, some salt, maybe a little garlic, but they're just great for eating straight up as they are. They're delicious. So pop that in there. And there's a little pine tree for me to throw away. You'll probably notice as we go around there's some volunteers in my garden also that aren't weeds. I have a lot of dill coming up. That dill just reseeds itself so easily. I definitely don't have to start it myself every year. It's just here. Okay. All right, this little teeny one is little and teeny because I had to start it twice. The first time it died. This is a lunchbox pepper. So this is the only, I guess, not a hot pepper at all that I planted. This is a sweet pepper for eating. So I'm gonna plant that right here. I like these. They're the red, orange, and yellow peppers. You can buy them at a store and they come in all three colors, and I just have one here, which hopefully will be a delicious snack pepper. It hasn't had a chance to really form good roots yet or anything because it's a very young plant, but it'll be fine in here. Tuck down, put the label there, we're good. I have got an Anaheim chili, which I'm gonna put right here. And now we're on my very last pepper plant. The last one I have is the Big Jim green chili. Think of it like your Hatch green chilies, if you've ever heard of Hatch green chilies. That's a New Mexico thing. All right, it turns out I have quite a few seeds to plant, more than I thought I did, and they all essentially need to go either on this side of the trellis or on this side of the trellis where the garlic is. Well, the garlic is fine. It's not going to interrupt the growing of whatever I plant, but who knows? So I have one type of bean called the black coat runner bean, which I'm going to plant them tomorrow, but I'm going to actually just mark where I want to plant it today, because what that's going to do is just remind me that I've used that spot up. I have another bean, but this is a Calypso dry bean, and it's a bush bean. So I'm going to plant this bush bean over here in with these peppers. I don't know how much space it's going to take up. I'm just going to find a spot and plant it among the onions. Maybe I'll put it just right here on the edge. That one, there's another one. I'm going to soak those seeds overnight and then bring it out here tomorrow. So onto the trellis. I have 1, 2, and 3 different kinds of cucumber. These are my Armenian pale greens, were a free trial packet from Jung Seeds. I've got straight 8 cucumbers from Seeds and Such, and muncher cucumbers from Baker Creek. And of course, all of these need to climb. So I'm going to start my cucumbers. I think I'm going to start, well, let's just put some in for whatever. Right here, I'm going to put the muncher cucumber. I'm just going to pop the seeds into the ground. I'm just going to put 2 seeds in for this. If they don't grow, I can add more. So 2 seeds. Put them in the ground. Get them in there. Oops, was that a seed? I don't know, that's a rock. All right, so 2 seeds for the muncher into the ground. The straight 8s, I'm gonna put over here on this side, right next to, right over here. So straight 8 cucumbers will go here. I'm aware that I'm probably putting too much of these things in here, like too many plants on the same trellis, that kind of thing. Well, My garden might end up being a wild mess, but this will be fun. So let's pop 2 of these seeds in here. So straight 8 cucumbers. Okay. All right, the Armenian pale green cucumber. I'm going to start that why not? Right here in the middle. Pull these weeds out. I'll put 2 seeds for that in. I really like cucumbers, so this isn't a problem. If I get a lot of cucumbers, I'll just make cucumber salad. And I found a recipe last year and I made cucumber soup. And that was good, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Here's some cucumber plants. All right, done with that. The next thing I have is 2 different squash. I've got honey nut butternut squash and a small wonder, which is a spaghetti squash. I'm going to plant 2 of each, I believe. So they're both vining squash. Not sure. Let's go back over to this side. I think I'll plant my spaghetti squash right here on this side. Put 2 seeds in the ground. One and 2. And then I will plant the butternut squash on the other side. Is that what I want to do? That was a bush bean. Oh, I'll plant it here near this bush bean. It won't matter because this is... Oh, wait, no, that was the muncher cucumber. Well, I'll plant it right here. Who knows? It'll probably do fine. So, 1 there. And 1 there. Get my label out. And we'll see what happens. If for some reason these don't grow, I can always plant them again somewhere else. That's not a problem. No idea what that is. All right. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is I did bring out some marigolds that I had started from seed. I'm going to go ahead and pop these marigolds into the ground. When I have a pellet like this, I like to peel off the outer part of the pellet. And obviously the cat likes to get in the way. Get out of here. All right, so get out of here, cat. Go, go, go. Hey! Meowed at me. All right, so I'm going to try to separate these 2 little guys, if they will. Yep, perfect. So, I'm going to put... I don't need to label those either. I just have to remember not to pull them up as weeds. But they should grow fast enough that it won't be too big of a problem. And I've got 2 more little peat pots full of marigold here on this side. So... put this one here. There we go. This one's another one that's 2 plants. Perfect. Well, I believe that that is all I'm going to plant out here today in my garden. Hope you enjoyed watching me plant things. I'm sure I could have placed a few things better. In fact, I'm thinking about moving that bush bean to this corner because there's really nothing in this corner. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So, transplant time already. The bed with the peppers is just so full. I'm not transplanting anything. I didn't plant the seed yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this bean over here where there's a lot of space for it. It'll be fine right there. All right, well, anyway, now you can see how my garden is shaping up for the year, and hope you all have a great day.